Is the Novotel Melbourne on Collins Street actually worth staying at? Or are you just paying for the location? I'm Maximo, and welcome back to Maximo's Travels. I spent 2 nights here, right in the heart of Melbourne's central business district, and in this video, I'll give you an honest, no-nonsense review of what it's really like to stay here. I'll take you inside the room and bathroom, check out the gym and indoor pool, visit the bar and show you the shopping centre connected right next door, plus what's nearby within easy walking distance. I'll also break down who this hotel is ideal for and who might want to look elsewhere. So if you're planning to stay in Melbourne, let's see if Novotel on Collins lives up to the hype. In August of 2025, we jumped on a train and headed in to the Melbourne Central Business District for a weekend away. We did this for a number of reasons. One, we'd never done this before, and secondly, I had a free night stay at an Accor hotel that I needed to use before the end of the year. We rode on the Sandringham line all the way to Flinders Street Station, a journey that I'd taken many times during my working career. And it did feel quite unusual heading into the city on a Friday rather than coming back home for the weekend. We got off the train at the historic Flinders Street Station and we walked a couple of blocks to the hotel that we'd booked with Accor, the Novotel Melbourne on Collins. The hotel, as the name suggests, is located on Collins Street, 2 blocks north of Flinders Street Station, making it a very easy commute from the suburbs. If, however, you're coming from Melbourne Airport, then the best way to get here is either by Uber or taxi, or by the Sky Bus that drops you off at Southern Cross train station, a 1 kilometre walk away from the hotel. And instead of walking, you can jump on a tram for free to cover the distance in no time. If you're driving there, the hotel does have its own dedicated car park across the road. It's valet parking and it costs approximately 64 Australian dollars per day. There are cheaper alternatives in nearby streets, especially on weekends and evenings. The hotel is in a brilliant location, close to train lines, tram lines, and right in the heart of the shopping district around Collins Street. So that is the Novotel. It's basically 5 buildings in a row that's been converted into a fairly big hotel. The original facades of the old buildings have been retained, and you wouldn't tell there's a huge 380-room hotel behind them. This hotel caters fantastically for both business and leisure travellers. The Novotel Melbourne on Collins is a 4.5-star hotel. However, its entrance is slightly underwhelming. The front entrance is quite small. Once you walk through the double doors, you'll pass a concierge desk on the left-hand side and continue to a set of lifts. I guess my only criticism of this hotel was that only one of these lifts were working, and there was quite often a lengthy delay getting between the ground floor and reception on the 6th floor. This is due to one of the lifts being out of action. On a couple of occasions, one of the staff members escorted us to the staff lift at the very back of the hotel to ease the congestion in the area. The reception desk is located on the 6th floor. It's well staffed and it took no time to get checked into our hotel. The bar and restaurant are also located on the 6th floor, close to reception. We did use the bar a couple of times, but not the restaurant. Our room rate didn't include breakfast, and we didn't have a dinner here. There were so many other restaurants in Melbourne that we wanted to try instead. A set of windows provides a great view of an attached atrium and shopping centre, although it was closed during our visit and it was under significant reconstruction. The swimming pool, which I'll show you later, also has access to a view of this atrium. Unfortunately, the main set of lifts had only one lift working most of the time of our stay. This meant for quite lengthy waits to get up to your room from the restaurant and bar on the 6th floor as well as getting from the ground floor to the 6th floor initially. The other noticeable feature about this hotel is the sheer length of its corridors. The corridors were like a rabbit warren. I'm not really sure why, and whether it's because the building was built over 5 old, reclaimed and renovated buildings, but the corridors seemed to stretch on forever and ever, and it felt like a 5-minute walk from the lifts to our hotel room. And that just added to the moderate frustrations of experiencing slow lifts as well. I do hope you're enjoying this video. If so, hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notify bell so you'll never miss another upcoming video. If you want to support my channel and help me make more videos like this one, then please consider buying me a coffee. The indoor pool and jacuzzi, as well as gym, are located on a floor that gives access to the atrium. It's quite a unique setup, and the indoor pool feels almost outdoorish. The reasonably large and well-equipped gym is separated from the pool with some glassed windows. They have both treadmills, hydraulic machines and some free weights, and there were a couple of people using it. It did look fairly decent as far as hotel gyms went. I didn't use the pool or the jacuzzi, but it did look quite inviting. There were kids swimming in the pool, so I didn't want to get too close. It was slightly small, but looked modern, clean and inviting, and just perfect for families or leisure travellers. The pool area has direct access to the atrium, and I believe the shopping centre here recently reopened. The hotel is in a fabulous location. It's located right next door to the Block Arcade, built in 1893. It's a landmark Victorian building that's inspired by Milan's Galleria Vittoria. It's a short stroll away from the Grave Street, where you can get a brilliant coffee or bite to eat. Close to so many boutique coffee places that serve utterly brilliant coffee. A couple of blocks away from Federation Square, which is filled with stunning architecture. Equally close to Melbourne's Yarra River, the National Gallery of Victoria, if art is your thing. Or if you're into graffiti, then head to Hosier Lane, or you can head to the State Library of Victoria and check out the stunning dome in the reading room. Or you could head further afield to Queen Victoria Market. There's just so many interesting places to visit and things to do in Melbourne, and the hotel is in a perfect location to do and see them all. We spent some time in the bar of both nights that we spent here. Being an Accor Plus member, we received a complimentary drink each that we had at the bar. And I've got to say, the bar was very, very busy on the 2 nights that we attended. It was sometimes difficult to get a table. I think quite a few of the guests were having pre-dinner drinks before either moving to the restaurant or heading out to one of the many restaurants in the surrounding area. The deluxe king bedroom that we stayed in was quite large, clean and spacious. The styling and furniture were somewhat dated, however. The usual cost of a deluxe room for 2 nights is 658 Australian dollars, around 440 US dollars. We received a 30% discount when we booked, and with our free night, it only cost 263 Australian dollars for 2 nights, excluding breakfast. That is exceptionally good value. We were also upgraded to a high floor with good views. The king bed was super comfortable, as were the pillows. There was also quite a comfortable day bed in front of the window. There were ample charging points, including some on this clock radio. The air conditioning system was quiet and effective. The room had quite decent natural light and quite a large desk and large TV screen. Standard Australian 240 volt power points were everywhere. The room contained an adequate bar fridge, and there were tea and coffee available. A 250ml carton of milk was also provided, and Joe really appreciated that. The hotel provided a fantastic view, incidentally, of a building that I used to work at, the former National Australia Bank Computer Centre. We also got a view of the trams rumbling down Collins Street. We neither heard them nor felt their vibrations. I think the building was quite well insulated. Even though it was the middle of winter, we had bright blue skies. The daybed was quite comfortable. It featured a moving table and it was a good place to do a bit of work, catch up on reading, or just chill out. There was ample storage for suitcases and clothes, and we even featured an ironing board and iron. The bathroom was pretty good. It looked like it had been recently renovated. It was well designed, nice and spacious, and very clean. The shower didn't have a door, but the water seemed to be contained mostly within the shower area. Complimentary shampoo, conditioner, and body wash were also provided. The brand was Deep Nature. The lighting was good, and there was a reasonable amount of real estate to store all your toiletries. All up, a pretty good bathroom, I think. That's a welcome gift. A bottle of Shiraz Cabernet and some Rocky Road handmade in the hotel. We really enjoyed our weekend away in the city and staying at the Novotel. It's in a fabulous location, suits business travellers as well as leisure travellers, and would be suitable for families. The deluxe room was large, spacious, and comfortable, if slightly outdated. The bar was always busy and the service good. I can't comment on the food here. We neither had breakfast nor any dinners. But overall, it's a nice, clean, comfortable hotel in the heart of the city of Melbourne. And I'd give this a Maximo rating of 4.5 out of 5, with some marks off for the dodgy lifts. And stay tuned for my next videos as I explore what we got up to on our weekend in the city. So until next time, you take care and bye now.